particular conversation of websites, right, we need to still highlight the differences between a website, a portal, and a blog because it's a popular misconception amongst a lot of people. So in this class, we're going to highlight a lot of differences between them and basically just give like a very good definition of what each of them is and what their purposes are for. So, from my slide, you can obviously see that a website is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name. And explained that in the beginning of the class, and it's published on at least one web server. And websites can be used for various purposes such as providing information, selling products and services, and connecting with others. So that is like a basic definition of what a website is. It is a collection of web pages. It's not just one page. It's a collection of web pages and related content, right? So it is also identified by a common domain name that people would know, or things that are unique to that specific company or product or service, right? So it's a common domain name, and also it is published on at least one web server. So before you can even use a website, it is hosted on a particular web server so that people can access it globally. All right. Now the difference between a web and a blog in this case is that a blog is a type of website, right? And it's typically updated regularly with new content. And blogs are often used to share like personal thoughts, experiences, or to provide like specific information on a topic. Now, blog posts are like typically arranged like chronologically, where you know it's usually with the most recent post at the top. So I have a specific blog opened on my tab here, so I'll just share that with you in the process of this conversation. So let me share that with you. Now, you need to remember that a blog is a specific type of website, right? And this type of website, it is something that is used to share information about specific topics, specific experiences, basically just to provide information on a specific topic, and it is updated, frequently, so that people, get up to speed on progress, or people can even subscribe to it to get access to it. So the blog I'm going to be using for explanatory purposes is Techabal. Now, Techabal is a tech blog based in Africa that shares insights and information about what's happening in the tech ecosystem, or yeah, shares information about you know exciting technologies in Africa, or happenings or experiences in Africa, where they document these experiences and share it to the general public. Now, what the platform this is what the platform looks like, and it basically contains links to like different stories that they've written. So on this particular page now, it's a story on it's a blog about MoneyPoint and how they want to win retail banking in the market. So it contains different sections where the title is there. It contains pictures as well. It also contains like an article, a link to the entire story of what the information is about. So when you interact with it, you're not exactly filling in any detail. You're not exactly doing anything here, but you are here to get knowledge or information about a particular topic that you are in search of, or a particular topic that you want to gain more knowledge about. So obviously, like, some blogs have like call to actions in their websites where they want you to either subscribe to get consistent notifications to, or get consistent access to their blog so that they can sell you more things, or so they can just increase engagement with their audience, right? So in this particular blog, there's the body of the blog where after reading it, they also promote something. So they're promoting their event. So maybe you read it, they're promoting their event in October. So they want people to obviously attend that event, right? So they're promoting it there. At the same time, they're also promoting their newsletter where you get insights or get like notifications on news stories, or happens in the tech ecosystem where they don't publish this one. So they just, it's like a private newsletters. So people would be able to subscribe to these newsletters, and you know they get notifications on it. So it contains call to actions, at the same time it contains the content that people want to learn about. Now a portal um, is another difference, is another thing that we're highlighting as the difference between obviously a web, a blog, and a portal. So now a portal is a website that provides a central point of access to a variety of resources and information. Now, you would commonly find these examples in higher institutions where um, universities want to be able to, distribute information to their students using a central platform. So you would commonly find portals, in places like higher institutions, government parastatals, and so much more. I'm just using that as an example so you know like the difference when you interact with all of these platforms. Now, portals can be used for a variety of purposes, right? And these purposes include providing employees with access to work-related resources, right? So a particular company can have a portal where every resource that the employee needs to be able to access is on that particular website. So things like their onboarding documents, things like their rules and regulations, things like their HR policy, and all of those things, right? It is on that particular portal. So it's a central point for access to resources and information. Now, it can also be used to like access um, um, work related resources, right? Or providing like customers with access to information about products and services. Now, I'm going to use the use case of um, a school portal. Unfortunately, I can't share any school portal with you because I'm not in school, so I can't share that with you, or I don't have like, access to any school's portal, so I can't even share that. So, but I'm just going to give like an example that we can all relate with, right? So if you probably like went to any federal university or any private university in Nigeria, you would have interacted with like a portal where students get information about their results, their courses, um, their semester, like the courses they'll be doing each semester, the number of units. When the result comes out, there's a particular portal that they use to check it to see their results. Basically, that is what a portal is. It's a central point that, it's a central point of access to like a variety of information, and it's accessible to only people um, in that space, or in that space, because obviously if I wasn't a student in a particular institution, I would not be able to access that portal, right? So it's restricted to only people that are members of a particular community or members of a particular institution. So that is like the difference between a website, a blog, and a portal. Now I have a slide here that like gives like a tabular difference between what a website and blog and portal is. So if you look at the table here, if you look at it detailed, like look at it closely, you will see that each of them have their specific purposes. Now let's look at on the first on the first row we have a website, a blog, and a portal. So the purpose of a website here, according to this table, it can be used for a variety of purposes such as providing information, selling products and services, or connecting it with other things that they do, right? Now, the purpose of a blog here is to share personal thoughts, share personal experiences, or provide information on a specific topic. Purpose of the portal here is like used to provide a central point of access to a variety of resources and information. And here in this tab as well, we have content and we have audience. So the type of content that you can put on the website, and how content is used in these three mediums. right? So on a website, the content is typically like static and means that doesn't change like frequently. So when you upload content on the website, you're not going to exactly change it in like the next 1 month unless you're updating the website, right? But on a blog, you are typically like updating the content regularly with new content. You are typically updating the website, I mean the blog rather, with new content. And on a portal, the content can contain a variety of content like this portal now can contain a variety of content such as news articles, blog posts, product listings, user generated content, and so much more. Now they all have their different target audiences, right? And for a website, it can be targeted at a general audience or a specific audience, right? So for a blog, it can be targeted, at a specific audience who shares interest in the topic of the blog. So, for example, the tech blog that I used to, make reference to, or I use as a reference, rather, it is only specific for an audience that is interested in tech related content, right? So if I was interested in a cultural content, I would not exactly be going to that particular blog to get like informed about a certain topic, right? So it is typically targeted at a specific audience who share an interest in the topic of the blog. Now, for a portal, it is targeted at a specific audience, such as employees or customers or students, right? So there are different use cases for all of this, and they have their different audience. They have the different content types that they are designed for, and also they have their unique purposes as well. So let's talk a bit about static and dynamic websites. Now, um, the reason I'm doing a deep dive into what this entails is that if you follow through the class to see how to see the examples are used as websites. Some of these examples are static websites. Some of these examples are dynamic websites. But we have to really really understand you know the concept of both of them so that we don't get confused, or so we can even get familiar rather, and make better decisions on how to go about building our own websites and leverage different technologies to build them. So the main difference between the static and the dynamic website is that static websites have content that remains the same unless the web developer or the website developer changes like the source code. Well, dynamic websites can display different content to like different visitors. Now, this might sound a bit confusing, but I would, be able to explain with like proper examples. Now, static websites are typically created using languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the content on the static website is stored in HTML files and CSS and JavaScript files, basically, and they are used to like add or style like interactivity to the website, right? So on a static website, you use like programming languages to obviously develop this website so that people can interact and use these websites, right? Now, with dynamic websites, they're typically used, you know, they're typically, created using server-side programming languages such as PHP, Java, or Python. And these are programming languages that are selected the um, because of the functionalities that people will be able to perform on this particular type of website, right? So they use a database as well. Dynamic websites use database to store their content, and also the server-side code is used to generate like HTML pages that are displayed to the visitors. Now, this might sound all very technical, but I would explain very, very soon.